Well, good evening, friends, and once again, thank you for taking this opportunity to join me. For those of you once again watching for the first time, I am your host, Chi-Town Zone, and with that being said, let's get into this. With the very little time we have left here, friends. I'm still going through many articles, of course, and I've happened to come across an interesting one in which I will be leaving a link at the very bottom here so you can read for yourself via cnsnews.com, of course, which many of you are familiar with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who's no stranger to everything that's going on now and her pure hatred for our president, friends. And with everything that's going on, how she backs Schiff, even though Schiff clearly lied, and tried to put words into President Trump's mouth that were not in that transcript when questioned about it, when she stated that she felt, Schiff didn't do anything wrong, which is a complete lie, friends. Many of us who watched that day seen for ourselves and watched with our mouths wide open in complete shock by what we were listening to with the blatant lies that was coming out of Adam Schiff's mouth once again, friends, and how Nancy Pelosi absolutely had the nerve to sit there and defend him. And of course, when they called him out during the congressional hearing about it, Adam Schiff, all he had to say was, it's a parody. But again, it just goes to show just how truly desperate the Democrat Party really is to smear and, try to hold our president back and stop him by any means necessary with lie after lie, with attempts of impeachment and subpoena after subpoena. And all we keep hearing is Russia this, Ukraine that, a whistleblower this, and how the Democrat Party is doing everything it possibly can to protect this whistleblower and both the informant. But you saw during President Trump's cabinet hearing there at the White House how he strongly believes that Schiff could possibly be the informant. For all we know, there's a good possibility he very well may be, and many people are already beginning to wonder that same thing, or whether or not he too is the whistleblower. And this whole thing is just one big farce, just like Russia, to try to get President Trump impeached by any means necessary. And it's blatantly obvious what the Democrat Party is trying to do. The thing is that they think they're completely above the law. And it's funny how they talk about how Trump is trying to shoot holes into our country's constitution now, and everything he's trying to do is completely unconstitutional. But if you listen carefully to everything that they want and everything that they're trying to do, it's completely the opposite, friends. I mean, you talk about complete hypocrite. But again, I digress, friends. I don't want to hold you up much longer. But again, I will be reading from this link here, where the headline goes on to read, friends. Impeach Pelosi petition surpasses 250,000 signatures. Not 1,000 or whatever, 250,000 signatures on White House website. Just imagine that, friends. But the article here goes on to read, friends, a White House website, We the People, petition calling on Congress to impeach Pelosi for treason, and has gathered more than 250,000 signatures to date. As of Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019, more than 260,000 people have signed the petition to impeach House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California. And of course, it goes on to state that this petition was created January 18th of 2019 on the website We the People. But the article goes on to further read here, more than 2.5 times the minimum of 100,000 required warrants required to warrant an official response. But again, friends, with the Democrat, with the margin in the House, how likely is it that Nancy Pelosi would be impeached? I'm pretty sure many of you remember it was the day before yesterday. I think it was 173 members of the Republican Party who brought forth a resolution to censor Adam Schiff for his blatant lies against our president once again. But we saw how the House completely blocked this resolution to censor Schiff. But again, it just goes to show how far the Democrat Party is willing to go. But let me go on to continue with the article here. The Georgia woman who created the petition in January, Marjorie Taylor Greene, personally delivered the copy of the petition to Pelosi's House office on February 22nd of this year. Greene continues to encourage Americans to sign the petition, aided by President Donald Trump's recent calls for Pelosi's impeachment for the way she conducted her impeachment inquiry on him. Since posting the petition, Greene, a business owner, wife, mother, and of course mother, has launched the campaign to become a Republican House candidate for Georgia's 6th District last week, where she met with members of the House Freedom Caucus and the founder, Representative Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio. But again, friends, as I've said before, with the Democrat Party being the majority in the House, how likely is it that Nancy Pelosi will be impeached is the real question. But again, I digress, friends. All we can do is pray and see what happens from there, because it's obvious that they are absolutely desperate and will stop at nothing. And they've even stated before that they are willing to lose the House in an attempt to try to get Trump impeached with this inquiry. And over a blatant lie, friends. Again, this whole whistleblower thing, it's obvious. Why do you think that, those on the Democrat Party are bent on trying to protect the identity of the whistleblower and the informant? Because, it begs many to wonder if this person is even real. Whether or not is it actually Schiff himself and others on the inside of the Democrat Party that are doing this to desperately try to get Trump out of office, since the whole Russia thing was just a complete blatant lie from the very beginning. And of course, as many of you remember, as I've stated previously, it was Schiff who claimed to have had sent evidence proving that there was Russia collusion, during the 2016 election. But of course, that turned up to be a big lie. But again, friends, I digress. It just goes, as I said again, it just goes to show just how desperate the Democrat Party is, friends. But again, with that being said, if we happen to have any more breaking news or whatever the case may be, I will do my very best to bring that to you again, friends. And with that being said, for those of you watching for the very first time, do feel free to subscribe for further updates or any breaking news if we happen to have any, and I will do my very best to bring that to you. And with that being said, friends, let's continue to pray for this country. Let's pray for our president and both our vice president. And with that being said, have a good night, everyone. Talk to you later.